sing when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. You gotta sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You gotta sing when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. Sing, sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go.
Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Sing When You're Winning, a Fantasy Football League oddity podcast featuring distant cousins of podcast royalty and a very special guest this week who we will reveal very, very shortly. But waiting in line for the podcast throne this week, it's myself, Jamie, we've got Steve, we've got Jersey Chris, we've got Lee, and Dan is back again. Hello. So this How do? Oh, we're all good. We're all good. As it's Friday morning, it's not because Steve ruined that illusion for everyone last week. But let's pretend that it is. Everyone,
we can't pretend it is. We can't pretend that tonight when we've got live football.
We can. People like the daft gimmick.
Whistler's just scored. Get in.
Has he? Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, this is live football as it happens on a Wednesday night this Friday morning for you.
It's become a watch along.
Yeah, it has. It has. I've got the Liverpool-Newcastle game on. We've got Jersey Chris is in a weird place because he's watching the Ipswich game, but we're ruining the score before the goals go in for him. And then who else is watching any other games?
I'm watching Tottenham against City, but I might put Forest and Arsenal on just so that we've got all matches covered.
Yeah.
We need Lee to be our Mark Goldbridge and have a bit of a rant when Man City score again and start throwing things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So anything can happen in the next however long we're doing this while football is on. But yeah, this week everyone introduced themselves, and because of a conversation before we kicked this off, what other podcasts do you listen to? Obviously, everyone listens to Sing When You're Winning. This is a great football podcast. But what other podcasts do you listen to? We'll start with Chris.
Hello, I'm Jersey Chris, manager of Fuck and a lot of you. Podcast I really got into, a couple of years ago was Phil Hayes' podcast about Leeds, Yorkshire Evening Post. Yeah, just Leeds really.
Just Leeds. All the time. Good stuff. Dan, how about you? You can promote your own here.
Yeah, well, obviously, number one podcast, Foxhole Companion. Check it out, Chris. World War II fans. That's your podcast. Other than that, the Square Ball podcast from the Square Ball boys at Leeds is brilliant. Enjoy that a lot. In Moscow Shadows, Mark Galliotti talking about the current situation in Ukraine and Russia. Unexplained is another one.
You
are a podcast king, aren't you?
You are.
I've got a lot of time on my hands, a lot of dog walking, and I get bored.
No wonder you don't have time to come on this one every week. You're too busy listening to all the other ones, aren't you? And doing your other World War one, I believe.
Yeah.
All good stuff. How about you, Steve? Or do you just listen to Sing When You're Winning?
Oh, just listen to this, yeah, just to see how bad it was.
I mean, there's time yet for this week.
See what wonders you've done on the edit.
Yes, you go, oh, he's missed that bit out.
What's he cut?
Yeah. Some weeks.
And I listened, the Square Ball one, I know it's a very Leeds pod for us tonight with Dan and Chris on and Ben as well. Have we introduced Ben yet? Have I just let it out?
We haven't yet. But I mean, if you watch it on YouTube, you can spot it.
It's not magic, Ben.
I don't. Yeah. Don't worry about me. I'll just save.
we're gonna give you the big build up in a minute, Ben. Don't you worry.
Oh, don't worry.
And I listen to the Fantasy 606 as well. That's a bit of fun to listen to.
Yes, good stuff. And I believe two of our managers were on this week's.
They were. Yeah. Indeed. That one of them's on every week.
yeah, indeed he is. So there you go. And Lee, how about you?
I listen. My name's Lee, manager of the Angry Dragons. I listen to the Fighting Cock podcast, which is a Tottenham one. I obviously listen to Dan's podcast as well, and I also listen to 4020 because I'm a big rugby league fan as well. So, kind of any rugby league podcast, but 4020 is one of my favourite.
Good stuff. Well, I'm Jamie. I listen to Shagged, Married, Annoyed with Chris Ramsey and Rosie Ramsey, which is still quite good. And they've been going for about 300 episodes, which is kind of the same thing every week. So it's what I aspire to with this nonsense. That's what I do. There you go. They can get away with it for 300 episodes. But anyway, let's move swiftly on and introduce our special guest who's waiting patiently here. He describes himself on social media as quite simply bass player and 1/5 of the band Apollo Junction. And he even states on LinkedIn that he's a skint musician.
I saw that today.
Yes.
Oh my God, I wonder who did that.
Yeah, skint musician, simple as that's what it says. But it looks like you're having a bit of a disco in the background with a light show on there, Ben, for those people watching on YouTube. But anyway, the mystery of who our special guest is over as we go all in on this Friday morning. So here we are together on this Sing When You're Winning podcast. Give a warm welcome to our special guest, Ben Hope. Woo!
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, Ben.
Hello. That's probably the best Apollo Junction I've ever been a part of. So
Excellent. It's why I aspire to every week, the introduction. So
Oh,
thanks, Ben.
amazing.
There we go. Good stuff. So we have a look at Ben's FPL stats, thanks to Statman Steve this week. It's your 4th season in FPL, is that right, Ben?
Gosh, possibly is. Yeah. I thought it was the third, but I think maybe it's probably about right. This year I've really tried.
Yeah, well, we'll come on to that. You seem to be doing quite well this year. It's your 2nd season in Sing When You're Winning. You finished 12th last season, 4 points off the playoffs, but you're currently, I believe, in 4th place this week, and apparently often ridiculed by your band on socials during your 1st season. You've clearly silenced those critics this time around. But yes, it's very, very tight behind the runaway leader in your league. But yeah, you're looking good for promotion.
The problem I had was I said to Steve at the start of the season, Haaland or not Haaland, and I made the mistake of not starting with Haaland. Then he banged him in for fun at the start, so I thought, right, I'll get him. Then he went down south, and so I've had a really bad start. But since I played my wild card in very early, like November time, and since then it's done well. So
well, you'll have another wild card to play, won't you, this side of Christmas?
Some people play wild
cards. Yeah, true. I suppose I was very patient, but Wissa and Mbeumo, is he called? Mbeumo, have been just prolific. They've been the best two.
Definitely.
And ironically, I've swapped Wissa for Isaac, and I'm having a bad week, but I'm entitled to a bad week now again.
Yeah, because is he not even in the squad? Isaac,
No,
sadly
not even in the squad. Yeah.
No. Well, there's someone in the group who always says that, this person hasn't travelled, so I don't know what to believe, to be honest.
I didn't believe it at first.
Yeah.
It's a classic joke, isn't it? Whether they've travelled or not. So this week, Steve, do you want to? We obviously haven't got any up-to-date results because there's a live game week happening, but there's no football on this coming weekend. There's not a game week for the week. So is it worth looking at kind of who did well in game week 26 over the weekend?
Certainly can, and then you'll get the other results. Well, you'll know them all yourself on Friday when you're listening to it.
Certainly will.
With your cup of tea. Anyway, the Premier League last week, the highest scorer was Alistair Bruce Ball, he of the 606 podcast you just mentioned. He got 112 to beat league leader Mark Summerton, who managed an 84. Richard Archer was the closest to that. He got a 98 to beat Steve Taylor, who got a 77. Adam and Tom Roberts drew 87 each. And there were wins in the bottom 5, because the bottom 5 are a little bit cast away at the moment. And one of those for you, Dan. And one for Faris, who beat Ben Shires. Dan beat Eds, who's one of the title contenders there. League table-wise, Mark Summerton is still top, and I think he's been top since week 1. and is yet to be knocked off. He's
Imagine if he got knocked off at
51.
the end. Imagine.
Yeah, it might happen.
It's
Lee's got
happened.
51. Paul Chambers has got 51. Tom Roberts has
Mm.
got 48. Ed Chester's just beaten by Dan has got 48. And Alistair Bruce Ball has now sneaked into the reckoning. He's got 45.
Oh.
And he was the pre-season favourite in that division.
I also won, Steve.
Did you? Yeah, I've not seen that, Chris. It's not mid table's not on this list. And down at the bottom, then the bottom 5 are, as of last weekend, Faris with 30 points, me with 29 points, Michelle Gale with 28 points, Dan with 26 points, and John, who is playing Michelle right now, has got 18 points. And if he loses to Michelle, he could be about 14 points behind safety. So could be a dodgy one for him to lose that one. In the championship, the highest score there was a 90 for Stu Dunn. He beat Tom Gregory, 74. Leader Jim got 69 and beat lowly Rich Lay with a 61. Jamie, you lost to Henry. Henry's up there somewhere.
He got a cracking start with Brentford on Friday night, didn't he?
Lee, you beat Cole 77-71. A revenge match for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention that because I didn't even play my triple captain after saying I was going to. I just
You
beat
did
him
say
fair
that.
and square, no cheating.
Yeah. Is
No
he still away?
nonsense
Is he
or
still
anything
in Thailand or
He's
he's gone?
still in Thailand.
Mark Morris drew with Carl, 64 each. And at the bottom, there was an important win for Alistair Griffin, who beat Dave Atkins at the bottom. League table-wise, Jim is 11 points clear in that one of Stu on 49. Then it gets close. Andrew Clancy, 48. Henry, 47. Carl, 46. Tim Ward, 45. Then just outside the playoffs, you've got Cole, 45. Phil Pinder, 45. And Tom Gregory 44. At the bottom, it's a 7-teamer, really. Alistair Griffin, 30 points. Dave Atkins, 30 points. Rich Lay, 28 points. Ross, 27. And the bottom 3, Swanee with 27. Joe Derrick, 26. And Jonas with 25, who seems to have been bottom most of the season, Jonas.
Yes.
League One, then, that's where you are, Ben. Double high scores, 91 from Mike Bushell, who beat Nigel Clark, and Alex Renton, who beat Paul Spence. Jamie Hurst at the top won again. He beat Gareth, 76-73. And Rich Pipes, who's been chasing him most of the time, lost by 1 point to Lee Nicholson. Ben, you beat Anton Witter, 86-71. Anton slipping down the table now. At the bottom, Nathan Clark beat Tim Bresnan, 82-71. And Chesney won his 4th game in a row.
Whoa.
Well done, Chesney.
I tell you.
He's only won 8 all season, and now he's won 4 in the last 4 weeks. So there's hope then. It must be because he's on tour with James Blunt.
Yeah,
Getting some advice
everything's
there.
going for him, isn't it, right now, as he get ready for his album release? 4 wins in a row.
Yep. League table-wise there, Jamie Hurst is 14 points clear in that division, so I think he's probably going to get promoted. Rich Pipes is second on 46. Ben Hope, you 46 points. Alex Renton 46, Stu 43, and Steve Wybrandt sneaked in there 42. At the bottom, Craig Wilson 33. The relegation teams are Tim Bresnan 32, Ben Taylor 27, Nathan Clark 25, and Chesney still bottom despite 4 wins in a row with 24 points. Conference League, the big teams are getting good down there now. Sophie Ridge got 103 to beat Pete Martini, who's been top for months. He got an 84. Natalie Pike, also chasing, got 94. She beat Finn, who got 72. Ben Halliwell got 88 and beat Adam Constive, who got an 80. It's been unlucky for him. Neil Robertson slipped up to Alfie Witter, 74-77. Last week's guest, Joe, beat Maddox, 78-66. And Rob Lally smashed Paul Tonkinson, 75-39. Although Paul Tonkinson messaged me to say he absolutely point blank refuses to pick Mo Salah, so that's probably why.
Yeah. Well, although, as Lee mentioned last week, he's out of form at the moment. So
Yes.
see why people.
That isn't a direct quote, by the way. That is not a direct quote.
It is actually, it is.
Steve asked me to go back and listen
We've
to it
listened
again.
back to it. We
by
couldn't
his
quite believe
standards-
it.
by his standards, because I was looking at the stat. I thought, why have I said that? When I was ridiculed across social media, and then I was looking at the stats from like game week 20 onwards, and he was only like game week 24, 27 or something, where he'd actually scored well, and then obviously he'd scored well 20.
Has he not got a record Premier
29
League
as
score
well.
or something?
Yeah,
then?
yeah. Been involved in 30 goals this
He's
season.
the kind of out of form guy you want in your team, isn't he? Really.
He is, yeah. He's the kind of out of form guy I'd like in any team.
Right, let me finish this nonsense off first
Sorry.
before I start going off on a rant. And Chris Murray at the bottom got a 1-point win over Indy Hawks. League table wise, Pete Martini is still top, but I don't know for how much longer. 55 points. Natalie Pike 53, Sophie Ridge 53, Ben Halliwell 52, Joe Singleton up into fifth now 49, Grace Maloney 49, Vicky Sparks 49, and Neil Robertson 48. And then there's a 6-point gap before you get to some witters. And down at the bottom, Paul Tonkinson 21 points, and bottom is Chris Murray with 15 points. Cup wise, we've also got the cup going on at the moment. So the quarterfinals there are Faris v Pete Martini, Rob Lally versus Ben Shires, Tim Ward versus Jamie Hurst, and Tom
Roberts
versus one of the Bens, Ben Halliwell. Although we've got these games going on, Sophie Ridge is about 30 points clear and is likely to be manager of the month as well. So she's having a absolute time of it at the moment.
Congratulations. Yeah.
That concludes that summary.
Brilliant.
On you
Good
go.
stuff. On we go. Well, does anyone want some top tips? I've seen this top tip be on a few sites over the last week, so I thought I'd pinch it and give it as our own. But apparently, many managers are looking to use their free transfers, and I've started doing this. I'm collecting my free transfers for game week 29 because there's a blank game week coming up. So if you've got some free transfers, you can roll the dice with that. And if you haven't used your wild card, which I haven't, you can then use it in game week 30. So essentially, roll the dice in game week 29, use your wild card in game week 30, and then the next big blank game week is going to be game week 34 because of the FA Cup semi-finals. And you can use your free hit chip in game week 34. So if you've still got those chips left, that's the top tips apparently to maximise those 3 game weeks.
What about
So,
the Assman chip?
The Assman chip, they just say play that whenever. I think people who've played it already have benefited the most, to be fair. And I'm just going to roll the dice in the last 3 games of the season.
Oh, well, I think you might benefit because everyone's kind of been playing in the last few weeks, haven't they? So you've ended up playing against somebody else's Assman. Whereas if you
everyone's got an Assman
later in the season, if nobody's got one, you're going to benefit because Glasner's been getting stupid points this week, hasn't he? They did like 20 points or something.
I'm hoping that one of these teams who's fighting for survival goes on a crazy run the last 3 games of the season and you can maximise points. But anyway, like a really shit team like Man U might suddenly win the last 3 games of the season or something like that. That's what I'm hoping for. Sorry, had to get that one in. So let's look at the games for this weekend. Obviously, there's no Premier League games. So let's go for Leeds West Brom on Saturday. What do we think? Leeds West Brom. Let's mix it up a little bit.
I think Leeds will win 3-0.
Oh.
I don't know.
I disagree,
but Chris and I were talking before we started recording, and the last 2 games have just been insane. And coming absolutely convinced we weren't winning and that we weren't going to win, and we pull off these last-minute amazing victories. So who knows? We may get thrashed 7-0. I don't understand how it works.
No, those days have gone down. This is an anomaly this season. Leeds, all the years I've been going to Leeds, 35, 36 years, and I've always gone to Leeds games with jeopardy thinking, even if we're 1-0, 2-0, we're going to throw this away, and it'd be nervous all the way through. Or if I watch it at home, I'm nervous all the way through. This year, I've been to 10, 11 matches. I've seen them all on telly, and I've never had one bit of butterfly. We're just cruising that division. We're just winning 2-3-0 at home. In fact, it's boring.
It's not
Yeah.
boring
No,
at
no,
all.
you can. I'm certainly not bored of it. Sorry, I don't know where my camera's gone, but
All right, Ben, we can hear you. We can hear you.
There's no
yeah, it's
jeopardy,
just
apart from the last
unique.
2 games, but all the rest, easy.
The other neat
It's
thing
just
is-
unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
This isn't the Leeds
Weird.
United I fell in love
What I'm
with.
saying to
No,
Dan
it's
is
weird.
that with what was it, 12, 13 games left. I think the next 6 games we can just win them, get away from the points. But knowing Leeds, we'll end up just losing to Millwall again, and
No.
teams in a bottom
championship.
half.
The championship this season is crap. Okay, bottom line, it is crap, and that's not taking anything away
Yeah.
from Leeds. Leeds are the best team in the league by a mile. And I watched Borough Stoke last night, which was dire, and we looked like world beaters against Stoke, but we're crap. Do you know what I mean? That's the level of the league, and I think
That
Leeds
open goal was bad, wasn't it? The open goal miss.
It was, but we won 3-1 in the end. It wasn't
It's
the
fine.
end of the world.
Didn't need it.
But I just think I can't. I mean, West Brom, to be fair though, Mowbray's an interesting manager. He'll do his homework on Leeds, and that'll be the thing. Like it could be a tricky one, but I can't see you not winning again at home.
I think it'll be
especially.
tough, but I think we'll be. I think it'll be by 1 goal, maybe 2-1, 1-0, something like that.
Because traditionally, you'd look at a game like that and think, well, they're 5th, this is going to be an hard game. But they're 5th and they're 24 points behind us or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Leeds will have got promoted by Easter, in my view.
God, I wish.
I hope so.
Jesus.
Yeah, I hope so, because that's when we usually fluff it.
I'm not there until it's done.
No, I know it can all go tits up, but
Easter weekend, mark my words, you'll be having a promotion party Easter Monday or whatever that is.
Easter
There's been a
Sunday in
goal.
York.
Easter Sunday in York, watching the Blue Tones. Easter Monday, Leeds getting promoted because they normally have the double championship weekend, don't they? Man U have just gone 3-2 up, by the way. People I've not seen the goal scorer, but I've seen the goal flash. So yeah, Man U 3-2 this Friday morning. FA Cup Sunday, Newcastle Brighton.
Ooh, well,
Tough one.
depends whether Isak's available, doesn't it? Is Isak injured or is he just rested?
Apparently so. I'm surprised, but don't know.
Brighton a bit
Brighton on the up.
They've
They've picked up lately, haven't they? They've definitely picked up last 4 games since they got the Tonkin. They've looked good.
I think I am going to go Brighton win on that. I think that's
I'm going to go shock Brighton win. Yeah. 2-1.
I've gone off the FA Cup, I think, without trying to sound biased, but that goal Coventry scored against Man United. Yeah, I just think the way they've abandoned replays and the Coventry goal against Man United was onside. Like I'll argue that to the death with anybody.
No, you're right.
I just think it's all just the effort in the semi-final at Wembley. It's just not what it used to be. Do you know what I mean? But maybe I'm just old-fashioned.
Not wrong with being a bit of a traditionalist, Ben.
No, it's just gone for me. And it's sad because
I can't hear Ben.
Yeah.
Either.
Oh,
can you not hear Ben? I can hear Ben.
I can hear Ben. Yeah.
I can hear Ben.
Everyone else will be able to hear.
All right, yeah.
And Dan and Chris can look forward to Friday morning and find out.
Just not.
Yeah. I don't know. Like when Millwall knocked us out, I genuinely thought, oh, right, well, we've got a small squad, focus on the league. It shouldn't be like that. You should be gutted to be knocked out FA Cup.
Yeah.
It needs revamping, man. It needs proper, get back to old school FA Cup, bring back replays.
Yeah.
Until then, I've just got no desire for it, but maybe I'm just miserable.
I think the replay stuff's massive, isn't it? For like the clubs that are like non-league clubs and stuff like that. Thinking about Tottenham this year.
Yeah, of course.
And the last few years, to be honest with you, when they played Marine and stuff like that, just getting that. If they get a draw, then they get a lot of money, and it's such a shame not to see it this year. But the magic's gone a little bit, but you still get those ties that get thrown up and those results, and you think, it's still there. There's still something there, and
Plymouth beat
you were
Liverpool.
right about
Still a
that as
great
well,
result,
Ben.
wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we move on then, Ben? We'll have a. Can you hear now, Dan? Dan, you've got your headphones.
Yeah.
Can you hear Ben? Out of
I don't know.
interest.
Is he speaking?
Ben, say something.
Yeah, I am now. Yeah. Hello. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
No.
No. Don't know why I'm finding this so entertaining. It's been a long day. Right, okay. Oh, this is going to be a fun edit on Thursday night.
Oh,
Good luck
man.
with that.
But Ben, we'll go with it.
It's going to be out on
Newcastle,
Sunday, this one.
Callum Wilson is missing a hatful of chances,
He
by
is.
the way, at Anfield.
He is. Isaac would have scored that one before, wouldn't he? When you
Well,
went,
that was he missed a sitter earlier on. He's just missed another one-on-one. So Wilson is having a mare. Anyway, Ben, let's have a bit more of a chat. I appreciate Chris and Dan won't be able to hear what you're saying, but we'll go with it.
Yeah,
So we ask everyone who's on the pod why they support the team they do, and I believe, unsurprisingly, you're a Leeds United fan. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I did have a choice though when I was younger.
Okay.
My family came from Ireland, settled in like the Tottenham area in London, moved up to Leeds. I was born in Leeds, but a lot of my family was Spurs. But my uncle took me to the 1992 title parade. Strachan, McAllister, and Lee Chapman threw his hat. He threw his hat off a bus, and I caught it. And I was like, I'm supporting this team now. Look at this trophy. Look at all these people. I'm sticking with this team, And I was born there, so we've not really won the main league since. But I've no regrets. I've done it all, man. I've done the Oval away in League One.
yeah,
I've seen I went to Champions League semi-final. So ups and downs as the song goes, but I wouldn't change a single day.
Absolutely, and you already know the format. Well, you've already told us your highs and lows, so that's all good stuff. So you basically support Leeds because Lee Chapman threw his hat and you caught it on the celebration parade.
Yeah, because obviously in those days you didn't have any internet or anything at all. It was really hard to watch the goals and know what's happening.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting conversation with my son yesterday because he said, "Dad, what did you do to see the goals like back in '90s?" I was like, "Well, you had to watch calendar news and just hope they showed on there. Well, match of the day if you could stay up."
Yeah.
So at the time, I just My uncle took me to my first game in 1993, which was Blackburn Rovers, and we drew 3-3.
Cool.
I just fell in love with it, man. And there's something about Leeds, like there's just something about Ellen Road. And I know I'm trying not to sound biased because I've got lucky I've got a few mates up and down the countryside. I go to a few games now and again, and I just think this isn't Ellen Road. It's now an unusual stadium because it's so old school. It's now like a bit of an anomaly ground where you've got like. I think Phil A said in one of his last articles, it's one of the last standing proper English grounds.
Yeah.
Well, and
everywhere's updating and changing, aren't they? They're going to update Old Trafford. They're going to update St James's Park. You're not going to get. Yeah, all these stadiums are just going to look the same, aren't they?
Yeah, and I found that in Championship. I mean, I've had enough experience, but Riverside and Pride Park and
Stoke,
and and Leicester's ground as well. It's a lot of it's just like the same, really. But I don't know. I loved Upton Park. I went there as a kid, and that was a cracking ground. I remember atmosphere being great there. But anyway, Leeds fan. So
Leeds fan. No. You're in good company with lots of Leeds fans in this league, as I'm sure you know already. Right, we have some questions for you. We ask the panel to do their homework each week, but I've got a question to kick off this week. What's your favourite track on the album Art Replacement Therapy?
Oh God, I have to think about that one. I'm trying to remember the name of the third track now.
The third track on Art Replacement.
No, I'll get it. I will get it now. I can't bloody remember, mate.
Track 3, we'll call it.
We'll call it track 3. We will. Yeah. I mean, it's got a better reaction than last week. Have you heard of the album Expecting to Fly out of interest, Ben?
Yeah. Did you say anxiety replacement therapy? The Lottery Winners album. Let's have a gander then. I'll have a think about this one because I do love that album. I bought it when I've got the pink vinyl.
Oh, nice.
Right then. Burning House. That's the one. It's called Burning House.
It is a
Yeah.
track.
Yeah. They've got some good collaborations on there. They've given us we want to get some collaborations on our album. So watch this space. We've got a few in the bag. I'd love to get Chesney on, but I've not got around to asking him yet.
I think Steve needs to get working on a Sing When You're Winning collaboration album between all you artists.
You could fill your boots on Sing When You're Winning collaborations.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Got to make it happen.
You could get Dan on to do something like a Richard Burton type talk over bit.
Yeah,
I'm free. That'd be good. And we get Tom Roberts organising it all. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a plan.
Anyway, that could be a plan for the summer or something like that. Cool. Has anyone got any questions for Ben? I appreciate two of the panel. Well, Chris has got a question. He won't hear the answer, but you'll ask.
I can.
He can now.
Ben's come
Oh, right, brilliant. Yeah, nice one.
Dan can't hear you.
What's your favourite band that's come from Yorkshire and who's inspired you?
Good question. I'm gonna have to say Pulp. When it comes, I just Pulp have been around for years and years, haven't they? So it's just, I got into music at such a young age, and Pulp are just out there. And I think Jarvis Cocker's the best frontman one of the best frontmen we've ever produced. But yeah, who's inspired me? I think it's really cliche, but I've loved Oasis, and I loved Noel Gallagher when he was in Oasis.
Yeah.
Went off him a bit in the solo period. I thought it was a bit of a snob, to be honest. But in those days, when he used to talk about just playing his guitar at work and writing songs, and I just thought, and he only knew about 4 or 5 chords, so that was right up my street. I thought, I don't have to be as good as Jimi Hendrix after all. And obviously I got into the House Martins again, one of my other favourite bands from Yorkshire. I love Paul Eaton. I think he's great. I've met him a couple of times. He's a big inspiration as well, this Paul Eaton, because he proves that you can be down to earth and still make a success of music. Which is quite hard these days. We've done a lot of mainstream festivals, and we've met a lot of celebrities, and some of them are great, and some of them are just, it's all an act in it, and you think, I couldn't do that. We like to keep it real,
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to name any of those? I bet you don't, but do you want to name any of those people?
Oh yeah, of course I will. Yeah, no problems. Sophia Lispex is the biggest diva I met.
No way.
But she got really mad with me because I bumped into her, but I was having jacket potato with beans and cheese, and it went all over her foot.
I am resisting the urge to do a murder on the dance floor type punchline to that one.
Oh mate, she was fuming. And then, would you believe, a few years later,
a bit of Spiller.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, I like that. I'll give you that one.
Good, very good.
We're talking about Sophia Spexted, and I can see.
Would you believe a couple of years later, we were doing a show at Kendall Calling, and they were really funny about letting us put our van in this behind the stage, and we were like, all right, fine. So we had to look a bit of gear behind stage, which, all heavy stuff. And there were a tour bus behind stage, and I was like, well, who's in there then? You know what I mean? Like what? So what? This is an artist and we're an artist. If we'd have turned up in a big tour bus, she'd have let us park it. Sophia Lispex got out again. She must have just thought, oh, it's him again, just moaning. I thought, I'm going to have to, I'm just going to have to leave that one. But we've met some absolute corkers, like Peter Crouch is absolutely sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Crouch is great, and
he seems like he'd be a good lad.
Yeah.
Oh, he is, yeah, and we've just met. I mean, who did we meet? Yeah, Richard Ashcroft, met him last year.
Yeah.
He were all right. I'd say we're all right, yeah. Yeah, we're all right.
Was that at the Forest? Because I went to that gig. You were
Yeah, we
Smith.
yeah, we were, yeah.
Yeah, he
We
was
did.
ill that day, wasn't he? Because he was apparently he was ill and somehow made it to the gig because it was a cracking it was the most civilized gig I've ever been to in my life. To be fair,
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? And people were like, people bought deck chairs and picnics and stuff, and I thought,
everyone had the picnics and the bottles of wine and all the retailers who there with the pizza vans charging you 15 quid for a slice of pizza made no money
my God.
because everyone brought their own picnics and stuff like that. But it was the most civilized gig I've ever been to. It was weird.
I mean, I remember walking out. Yeah.
It was good though.
Yeah, bizarre, wasn't it, that one? And then we did the Peace Hall one at Halifax, and that was great. That was you walked out and everyone was going like mental, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Forest one was weird. But yeah, he's been good, and we have met quite a few, you know. A lot of pop stars who I never thought I'd meet. Like, God, this is bizarre. Ronan Keating, I met him recently.
Yeah.
Oh, he was sound. Yeah, absolutely sound. I thought he'd be like a diva in that bit. He was giving us like tips and setting us up with his contacts and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's I watched the Boyzone documentary. He seems quite canny on that, doesn't he? To be fair. But
yeah, he's absolutely fine. Yeah, and yeah, so there is a big list really, and it's mad when people think you know, when we play these massive gigs and shows, we're at that stage now in our career where we've still got to go to work afterwards. It's just so because you're like, what am I doing? You're like, what am I doing here? You know, I've just come off stage at Isle of Wight, you know. It's bizarre, man.
yeah, take an annual leave to get to go and play some festivals and stuff like that.
Can we do a welfare check on those?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we'll
half a conversation. It must be really confusing.
It is, yeah. We need to score Dana Bourne here from time. Who else has got questions for Ben?
Well, I went to the trouble of Google searching Ben Hope, and apparently you're a mountain in the Highlands of Scotland, and frequently asked questions are, how long does it take to climb Ben Hope? So Ben, how long does it take to climb Ben Hope?
Well, it depends who you're asking, to be fair. Yeah. It's bizarre that I quite like that though. It means like I quite like that fact that well, I suppose I'm not hard to find because I've obviously got social media, but yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? My son told me that as well recently. I was like, huh? Oh, well, do you know what? I pretended I never Googled myself, but obviously I have.
Yeah. But I guess
you need to go there.
I was going to say, is Ben Hope ever climbed Ben Hope? That's the thing I'm thinking of right
We
now.
need a picture of it for sure.
Yeah, your picture.
Yeah, well,
climbing Ben
We need
Hope.
Ben Hope on the top of Ben Hope.
Yeah, I'm going to Scotland actually this year for a wedding, so I might just see if I can pop up. Yeah, have a quick gander up. It's weird that, isn't it? Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you. So yeah, Dan, you didn't really hear that, but
no, I didn't. I'll look forward to hearing it on Friday morning.
Yeah, listen to it on Friday morning. You can get your answer.
Weird.
Like the longest delay ever to a question that you've asked. Actually, I tell you what,
interesting format though, isn't it? That you ask a question and never hear the answer.
Well, yeah. I think Ben could even write the answer on a postcard, post it, and there's a slim chance
it might get him
before he hears it back, should he dare to listen to it. Well, in between all his other podcasts that he's got to get through. So, Steve, have you got a question?
Not really.
No,
but seeing as Ben's answer about influential pop stars was so comprehensive, have any influential pop stars in York just to keep people happy?
I'm conscious we haven't touched the obvious, have we?
Oh no, obviously. I think I heard you there, but yeah, when you said influential in York, obviously Shed 7 are just out there. It's Rick's probably the nicest. Rick and Paul are just probably the nicest people. Probably are the nicest people I've met in this whole industry. Some people aren't great, but they're just so genuine and down to earth. And again, it comes back to the Paul Eaton thing that you can be yourself. Honestly, my best moment in Apollo Junction is when we got on stage with Shed 7 last summer at the York Museum Gardens gig. When we got on stage, and I was to my right was Rowetta dancing with her arm around me, and to my left, Pete Doherty putting a microphone in my face. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Just awesome. And I've got a belting story to tell you about Shed 7. We a few years back we played at the Isle of Wight together, and we had a few drinks backstage, and the band were like, "Ben, we've got to go now. Come on, we don't want to, I was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?" I was like, "No, let's go now." I was like, "They've just said, Paul Banks has just said, have what you want to drink." I says, "I'm half Irish. You can't tell me I'm not going to have anything to drink." So I stayed behind. I stayed up with them, and we had the same tour bus.
Yeah.
Not V-sit. They looked exactly the same. And I was about to get on with them and about to set off, and I thought, "Shit, what's going on here?" I totally got on the wrong bus, so I almost ended up back to York with them, and didn't even. I missed that the next day because we had another gig the day after. Totally, they're such nice lads. How they're just like, "Yeah, come in, have a drink." They're just proper sound, and that last album is absolutely brilliant. I saw them in Leeds recently. They're just top lads. Sorry, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on, but I won't.
No. Yeah, everything you said spot on for sure. The albums from last year were particularly special, weren't they? The two number ones. But hopefully we'll get Rick on this podcast at some point to possibly talk about that.
Yeah, we do talk about this group at the Museum's Gardens, because he was in League One last year, wasn't he, Rick? I think
Premier League.
Yeah,
I think
in the Prem.
Was it the Prem? Yeah. He used to appear in the group quite a bit. So we always have a bit of banter about the group.
Good stuff.
So yeah.
And final question from Lee, and then we'll move on to Sing When You're in Superfan.
I will keep it short and sweet, Ben. I've
Cheers, mate.
seen you a few times. I'm always amazed by your jacket that you wear at your gigs. Tell me more about your jacket.
Oh, right, I will do. Yeah, now I've got a collection of them. You see, so what I do is we don't get a lot. Believe me, we're not like minted the band or anything, but we get royalties come through like every 3-4 months. And I got a couple of £100 through, and I thought, right, I'm going to get some absolutely nutty jackets and go from there. So I've got like loads of bizarre jackets. But the problem is once you've worn them a couple of times, you can't dig it out again, because it's like, oh, he's still wearing. As a band, you've got to continuously reinvent yourself. Yeah. That's how it feels anyway. So what I do is I just sell them. I sell them unvinted, or I'll sell them to like super fans abroad. And sometimes I get more money than what I paid for them, and I think, oh, this is all right. Okay. But with that money, I buy other jackets, and then it's turned into a kind of thing of like, oh, what's Ben going to wear? And I think that's mental, but hey, it works. It never intended to be like that, but it's yeah. But I do look back at some of the jackets, and I think, I wish I wouldn't have sold that. That would absolutely that was kind of. My favourite one was I had an Adidas one, which was made by this guy in Austria, and it got all the Adidas badges and just patched them on to this random jacket, and it looked mental. But it was class. I wore it when we supported Pigeon Detectives, and I wore it for about half the All In tour, and I just sold it. I sold it on eBay recently, and I was like, kind of regretted it, but if I don't sell them, I can't buy any more, and I just end up with a massive. Like my missus is like, my wife's like, what are you doing now? I've got no room for like a dress. I'm like, you don't need room. No. Get another jacket in that wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are quite quirky.
Yeah, good stuff.
So yeah, we got another talk coming up, so I need to start thinking about the new wardrobe
I'll be on
actually.
Vinted. I'm going to get some of my old jackets. Not that you're the same size as me, obviously, but you know, anything through the dryer.
Lee could sell you a jacket. Yeah. You could wear one of Lee's jackets on tour.
You want to tap up Andrew Clancy? Andrew Clancy's
I
a
was
fashion
thinking that,
designer. He just he specialises in sequin jackets.
Good stuff.
I will do that.
There's a bit of a running theme then with your jackets and your jacket potatoes. It's all happening when you questions tonight. We need a theme for the podcast title. Shall we play Sing When You Win in Superfan?
Yes.
Let's see. It could be quite interesting.
Yes.
We're not going to get Dan to keep the score because he's got no clue what you're saying or what the answer is. So that
Happy
could
to do
make
it,
it
though.
very entertaining if we tried to do that. But yes, Steve will. Have you listened to Sting When You Win in Superfan before? Were we doing it on episode 1?
Yeah,
I can't remember if we did. Not you, Steve. I'm talking Ben.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay attention. What's the scores in all the games, by the way? It's half time at Liverpool, Newcastle United 1-0 this Friday morning, but there you go.
Although crucially, the Sing When You're Winning Premier League, only one team in the bottom 5 is winning.
Right, let's play Sing When You Win in Superfan. So what happens is you have to answer as many questions as you can in 90 seconds, and Steve will keep time, and after 90 seconds he will say something vaguely related to this channel to signal it's the end of time. Who is going to do the scoring this week?
Dan can't
I
do
don't
it.
mind.
No, if Dan, okay, Chris is going to do the scoring. Dan, you can just listen in and
not
wonder
listening.
what's going on.
Santa's
be honest-
arrived.
To be honest, Dan, you could probably shout the answers. Oh no, Ben can hear you. It doesn't work the other way. So the score beat is 7. If you can get 7 or above, you'll go joint top of the league or even go top of the league, as it were. And if you score 1 point, you'll be in good company. I think it's probably fair to say. So just try and get 1.
Yeah.
Starting to change.
We've got a new game. Guess the sound. The new game that we're playing this week. Dan's got no clue. We're hearing some interesting sounds. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a zip. That's definitely a zip.
It's like the really shit radio shows that for 10 years say, "Can you guess the mystery sound?" £1,000.
It's all very confusing.
It is. Tonight's really is. It really is. Right. Ben, are you with us?
I am, yeah.
Awesome. Right, we're going to start the 90 seconds when I ask the first question. If you don't know it, just move on. Just say pass.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. And we use ChatGPT as well. I'm just going to throw that out there as well, because if we get any random questions that come up, we might have to edit that. But so, question number 1: who was the captain of Italy's national team during their 2006 World Cup victory?
Oh, pass. Cannavaro? No, don't know.
Cannavaro, do we give him that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give you
Oh,
that.
yay!
Yes. Which club did Cristiano Ronaldo join in 2009 for a world record transfer fee?
Real Madrid.
It was, yeah. Who won the 2010 FIFA World Cup Golden Boot?
Oh, God. I'm going to have to pass.
It was Thomas Muller.
What player?
Yeah. Which country won the UEFA Euro 2004 tournament?
Oh. Porto?
It was the actual Euros.
Oh, the Euros. Oh, Greece.
Yes, it was Greece. Who is the all-time top scorer for the Netherlands national team?
Oh, it's going to be, I'm thinking, Cruyff or Bergkamp. I'm going to go with, oh no, hold on. I'm going to go with Bergkamp.
Robin van Persie.
Spuds all
wow.
over my dress.
What? What was that? Say that again.
Spuds.
Buds all over
Right,
my
okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good. Right. Well, I hadn't started. I'd finished. So there we go. We'll Lee. What was the score?
3.
3.
Three?
You got 3.
Yeah,
Ben.
Oh,
You happy with that?
well, I am actually, because they were harder than I thought.
Yeah. Well, 3. You're in decent company. There's quite a lot of people on 3. So
Yeah.
Maddox, he's on 3. Nathan from Broodnell, he's on 3. And Alistair Griffin, he's on 3 as well. So you're in good company.
Okay. Yeah, Neff's the top guy.
You're in
Yeah,
good-
it's Greece, of course. Yeah. I was thinking club, but I think sure Porto beat Celtic in the final round. Then might be wrong.
Not sure.
Robin van Persie, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't.
But
anyway,
fair dues.
But anyway, it was 3. Three's respectable. I think it's fair to say.
It is.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Good stuff. Right? Did you used to read Match and Shoot magazine when you were a
Oh
kid?
yeah,
You did.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Good.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah,
Can I tell you a story?
yeah, you can.
I know I'm digressing. This is God's honest truth. In 1996, I collected the Premier League sticker book, and I was one sticker from completing it, right? And it was Dion Dublin, and it was a double, so he went in for like a slide tackle on some Nottingham Forest player, and I was missing like his right leg. So my granddad got the bus, bless him, to some, I think it was some York, might have been Barnsley or somewhere, to this convention.
Yeah.
And I was willing to hand in all my swapses and everything for this sticker, but we couldn't find it. And I cursed Dion Dublin for years. Anyway, about 3 years ago, I bumped into him at a festival in VIP bar, and I was a bit drunk, so I said, Dion, I need to have this out here. I need to tell you how I feel. And he was like, oh my God, right, yeah. So I told him the story, and he was crying, laughing. He was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. So I actually got a picture on my phone of his leg.
Dion Dublin's leg. Brilliant.
Yeah. He could not stop laughing. I was like, but obviously you're a sound guy. I had to tell you, because you got to let your feelings out. You know, you can't.
You certainly do. Yeah. I bet he's never had a story like that before.
No, he couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Oh dear. So how long have you been carrying around that photograph of Dion Dublin's leg?
Oh no, I've got a new phone now.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll have it again.
Oh.
Why do that the guy from Homes Under the Hammer on your phone? That's all.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's good at that. He's good on that.
Yeah. No, good stuff.
I'd like to know what Dan thinks has just gone on in that conversation.
Yeah, because all Dan heard was silence and then Dion Dublin's leg.
An odd mention of a leg.
Can't wait for Friday morning now.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh, sorry.
Everton's
One way to
one
get you
all,
listening
by
back
the way.
down.
Everton's
What?
1-1.
Everton's 1-1.
Yeah.
Who scored for Everton?
I didn't see it. I just flicked over.
J.K. Bryan.
Yeah, he's my
Nobody's got him.
he's my third sub.
Yeah, they're just showing it now
Also-
on the Liverpool feed.
According to my app, I'm winning 40-28, Steve. So what's going on there?
It's not live. It's not live.
It's not the live app, is it, Dan?
What?
You've got back in. You're back in it though, Dan. It's 42-43. You're losing.
Ooh, that's close.
What does Dan need then? Oh, there's games tomorrow night though, isn't there?
Leicester. Yeah.
but they don't have. Neither of them have any players playing tomorrow. It's
All
all
tonight.
going down
All happening
tonight.
Ooh.
Exciting. Well, the players are coming back out on the pitch at Anfield
Come on.
this Friday morning. Right, let's wrap this all up so we can watch the football in peace, everybody. So we're going to play a game of Shooting Stars, Ben. So do you remember in Shoot magazine and Match magazine when they used to do the kind of random questions? You get them in Heat magazine as well, like quick fire questions.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So we're going to ask you those type of questions. So just think
Oh, yeah.
quick, first thing that comes in your head, that kind of thing.
Yes. Okay.
So what would you do if you could be invisible for a day?
I'd run on the pitch, because I'd run on the pitch in the playoff final and score for Leeds.
Fair enough. Do you think it would count?
Yeah, I'd make sure it was like a corner or something, so it looked like the ball just swerved in.
Yeah, because if you're invisible, yeah, anything could happen. Great idea. Love it. Who would you most like to meet and why?
Do you know what? I want to meet Brian Cox. I just think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which one? The actor
yeah.
or the science guy?
Oh, the science guy, yeah.
The science guy. Who are we talking about, Dan?
Yeah.
Brian Cox.
Yes, see, it works. If anything frightens you.
Oh, right, yeah, what if that?
Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Yes, yeah,
No. Massive spiders. What I were little ones, but massive ones, like big huntsman spiders are just like a no-go.
Oh, what do you think they're going to do, like, compared to the small ones?
The small ones are worse. Like I've been bit by one in the past, but it's just I don't know what it is. I just wanna. It's because they can jump.
Yeah.
Don't know.
But you just
Yeah,
like
weird
spiders. Fair enough. Fair enough. What is the biggest risk you've ever taken outside of football?
I've actually. I left outside of football. I left teaching. I thought that was a big risk, but I'm glad I did it because it was just draining me.
Right. Have you ever been mistaken for someone else?
Yeah, I get mistaken for Jamie, which the singer of Apollo Junction sometimes, which makes me very upset.
What does he think about it? Is he up here?
He'll probably think, "Oh, I'm younger than people think."
Fair enough. Final two questions. Who is your favourite cartoon character?
I'm gonna have to go with Squidward. Squidward tentacles from SpongeBob.
Squidward. That's more of a.
Just
yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's quite modern, but he's just I love the guy. I think he's great.
Good stuff. And the last question: what was the first car you bought, and how much did it cost?
It was a Volkswagen Polo. That was £300, and yeah, you get what you pay for. I won't put it that way.
300.
Yeah,
that's good. You don't want to be paying a fortune for your first car, do you?
No, I mean I spent a fortune on repairs along the way.
Spent more than 300 quid on keeping it going.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, Ben, for joining us this week. That's a wrap on another podcast. Live football scores this Friday morning. Still Liverpool 1, Newcastle 0, and I'm guessing it's still Arsenal 0, Forest 0, and other things like that.
Yeah, all the same.
All the same. Good stuff. Well, we're off to watch the rest of the games, I think. Ben's off to put his kids to bed this Friday morning. But thanks, Ben. Good luck with the rest of the season as well. I hope you get promotion. Fingers crossed you're going well this season.
You could be playing Dan next season.
You could be playing Dan next season.
What's that mean?
I'll be interested.
That's my late season comeback. I always do.
Yeah, Dan won't go down. That's not good.
Yeah, but everybody at the bottom does, Dan, so it's going to be game on.
Dan always survives, doesn't he? Let's be honest.
Not this year.
We'll see.
Blimey.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
Fighting talk.
It is fighting talk. We can look back on this at the end of the season and see who's right. But you can follow us on Twitter at SWYW_FPL. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave us a comment. Someone did this week to call Lee out on his random comment about Salah. So that was good. A random stranger commented on YouTube. So you could be that random stranger next week. Or even ask us an FPL question. We might discuss it. But thanks to Chris, Lee, Steve, and Dan. Enjoy your footballing week. Keep on singing and keep on winning. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.